Good morning. Day 2, Venice. Day 1 was a little bit of an introduction, but day 1 was also a bit of a write-off, because as you can probably hear from the rich baritone of my voice, I have a pretty bad cold. And yesterday was very difficult, and I did actually have to go to bed. I was that poorly. I couldn't really film properly or do anything properly really. So I ended up in the fetal position in bed at about 4 o'clock, I think. So yeah, what a shame, but can't be helped. So I feel a bit better this morning so far, touch wood. So I'm hoping that continues throughout most of the day. And I thought I'd venture out early and get some filming done, proper filming, because I'm actually with my family on this particular trip. So there's a birthday celebration in a couple of days, so first impressions on Venice, just mad, incredible. Yeah, I don't have the words. It's magical place. Does not disappoint. Wow. Yeah, so I'm kind of just getting to grips with the city so far, the floating city. So I thought I would get out and go and find some location spots from a film that first properly introduced me to the wonders of Venice, and that is Moonraker. So I am just heading towards the first filming location on my list. It was closest to the apartment that we've rented. Look at this. So it's a scene where Bond meets Dr. Goodhead. Well, he's kind of stalking her actually, I think, if I remember. He's kind of stalking her, pretending to bump into her. Yeah, like stalkers do. Not that I would know, how they behave or anything. But yes, just across this bridge here is where that little scene happens. And they have a little tete-a-tete, tit for tat, whatever you want to call it. And she goes off across the bridge and he calls for his gondola, and he goes down some steps and gets in the gondola. I was also waiting for it to be light enough for you to see something. I think we're nearly there now. Also, if it's light enough to see this, you'll be light enough to see the state of my face because of this man-cold blue bug that I've got. My nose is in a bit of a mess, so So just around here is where Bond is loitering. Just down here somewhere. I do think Bond does make a remark about the wonderful ironwork, if my memory serves. Yeah, so, yeah, he does. And, yeah, so Bond is actually making a remark about the ironwork on this building when he's talking to Dr. Goodhead. So imagine that was not in the script and it was ad-libbed by Roger on the day. It's not something you'd put in a script, is it? But this is it. He was walking down here. He's walking along here, he's following her. And they come up here and they have a little conversation up these stairs here in front of this. His gondola's waiting down there at the bottom of those stairs. I can see the scene playing out right there in my mind's eye. But I'm not going to hang around because I'm a bit stuck for time. So Bond goes down those stairs there and Dr. Goodhead goes across the bridge. So I will go down the stairs as well. Pretend I'm getting into a gondola. Just following the footsteps of Moore. Yep. Right, that'll do. That's one off the list. On to the next one. Alleyways here kind of tail off into the canals. So weird, it's mad. definitely got a lean on it. Yeah, so Venice, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock, it's very busy. A lot of people around, but it's not the hum of tourists, it's the hum of workers going off to their place of work, which is better, nicer. So I'm just coming up to the second location. I don't know if I'll be able to get access into it, but it's where the big bad Hugo Drax has his scientific laboratory, his office kind of thing. And Bond's loitering around again, skulking around, looking for, doing a bit of investigation work actually. Becomes a bit of a detective, which is what he is. Well, that's typical. So the courtyard where Bond walks across is being renovated, so I can't see any of it. But I know that he, I don't think I can even get down here either. Don't know why that is. Let's have a look around. But I do believe he kind of parks his gondola here before he ventures off to the courtyard. Wow. Yeah, this is it. So this is where he comes up on his gondola, ropes it up here, takes his hat off and then throws it on the gondola, then ventures off back that way, just through that courtyard there. But yeah, kind of a classic view of Venice, this. So I'll head back, see if I can get some shots of this courtyard with all the construction work going on, but you'll get a sense maybe, I don't know. But this is it, this is the place right here. It looks like there's some major restoration works going on. So, no access at all. I can't even show you much, there's scaffolding everywhere. So, on to the next one. Yeah, it's a shame, but what can you do? What can you do? Right. Next. There is another location. It's Bond has made a bit of a mess up, or a bit of a cock up, shall we say, with the case, or it appears he has. And the minister tells his boss, to take him off the case, and they go along with it. And they pretend to take him off the case. And then Bond's boss, says, anything you want to do with your time off? And he says, I've always had a hankering to go to Rio. And off he goes. And then says, no more cock-ups, Bond. Or we're both in trouble. Or something to that effect, anyway. Quiet. You can understand why they filmed here. So here, Bond is walking across here with the minister, and his boss, actually. They just walk down here and they have a little conversation right here. believe that's a concert hall there, where you can arrive by gondola there. But this is it, yeah, this is it. This is the place where they have that scene, and I believe it's Bernard Lee's last ever scene in a James Bond film, right here, as he died after Moonraker. Was in no more. So I am often complaining about cars ruining cities. Not here. No such problems here. Magical, magical. It's truly magical. Right, so I've gone off towards St Mark's Square now, and the scene of one of the most ludicrous sequences in film history. So it's coming up to 9 o'clock now, and it's gone pretty quiet now because everybody's at work. So this is probably the quietest I've seen it. I mean, as much as I think James Bond is a kind of ridiculous character in 2026, I do have an affection for those old Roger Moore Bond films because I grew up on them, and I mean, Bond films are the greatest travelogues ever created, I think. You know, it's really the Bond films that triggered the huge growth in tourism, particularly skiing. But yeah, the Hotel Gritty Palace. This is another location from Moonraker, actually. Dr. Goodhead's room is here. Oh, no, actually no. I think this is where Roger Moore stayed whilst he was filming Moonraker. And that is the entrance to it there. Right there. And it looks very posh. Not the sort of place you just walk into and go for a drink at the bar. At least not at 9 o'clock in the morning anyway, but look at this here. Another classic view of Venice. So I got a sneaky view of the canal there from the gondola jetty, which I wasn't supposed to do. I was very politely moved along. So as I was saying just before, I do have an affection for Roger Moore's Bond films because they're ridiculous and fun, you know. And he knew it was ridiculous, and he kind of played it with a bit of a wink to the ridiculousness of it. So this ridiculous sequence that I was referring to is a gondola chase. So the gondolas Bond is in a gondola, and the gondola turns into a speedboat, and he's trying to escape the bad guys in their speedboat. And the gondola comes up to the shoreline, and it turns into like a hovercraft. And then it goes across St. Mark's Square. Absolutely ludicrous sequence. But it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. Oh, crazy. Seen this legendary city in so many movies, not just Bond. Gosh, the list is endless. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Don't Look Now. Let's keep moving. Stuck for time because I've got to meet my family at 9 AM back at the apartment. But just down here is where Bond's gondola comes ashore. He goes through St. Mark's Square. God knows how they filmed it. I think there was a lot of extras that day. Not real extras, actual tourists. Good God, look at this place. Cities are the greatest invention of humankind. And this is like peak city, peak invention. Look at it. Just crazy. So, I think it comes ashore over here, actually. It comes ashore down here, then it goes across the square over there. So yeah, it's around here. But Bond comes ashore in his repurposed gondola. Yep. He takes off through the square. Over there. So Bond comes along here in his gondola, and then goes down there. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't seem as big as it does in cinema, but it's still incredible. Incredible. Oh, yeah, so Bond cruises down here in his hovercraft gondola collaboration. And then it goes off to what appears a dead end. Maybe there was like a secret kind of ramp or something, underground headquarters. So, here I am in the middle of Venice. Another wonder of European cities. Right, I'm going to head off back to my apartment now, which is only 15 minutes away. Get some breakfast and come out again in a bit. It's awe-inspiring, but that tourist tat, it's, you know, why that is allowed, I do not know. Just get rid of it. Ah, actually, whilst we're here, there is another Moonraker location. Just over here, it's when Bond goes to look at the glass factory. The glass shop with a factory workshop at the back of it. And it's this building here, right there. So he comes past the lions, across here, and down these steps, and he goes in through the door here. Yep, very recognisable. They come back later again with M. Bernard Lee, I think. Yeah, they do. When they think they're about to catch the big bad guy, Drax, Hugo Drax. They think they're about to catch him out. And they go back there. Right, let's go. it's only a few weeks since I was in Prague. 6 weeks ago, I think, 7 weeks ago. And you know, when you go to Prague, one of the great cities of Europe, and then you come here, another one of the great cities of Europe, you really understand just how important Europe is to world Western civilization. You know, America are just babies. It's a baby. And they're certainly acting like a big baby at the moment. Okay, so this is where my apartment is for the next 5 days. It's just this building over there. So, after a bit of breakfast at the apartment, I have been joined by the family back there. And we're just heading back towards St Mark's Square and the Doge's Palace and so on.
Piazza San Marco, or St Mark's Square, is the beating heart of the city and is often referred to as the living room of Venice. It has been the focal point for Venetian life and culture for over 1,000 years and is surrounded by architectural masterpieces and historical landmarks. The piazza originated in the 9th century as a much smaller area in front of the original St Mark's Basilica, evolving from a tree-lined space divided by the Rio Batario Canal into the heart of Venetian political and religious power.
Yeah, when I was here earlier, I forgot to say that that window up there, Bond throws one of the heavies out of the window and he lands on a table down there. No restaurant there now though.
When the present basilica was built, water from the lagoon flowed freely onto the square via a dock, lapping the edges of the basilica and bell tower. But in the 12th century, the dock in front of the ducal palace was filled in order to build the present-day Piazzetta San Marco. The small canals were also covered over so the square could be enlarged and its size doubled. After St Mark's Square, we wandered along the promenade towards the mouth of the Grand Canal and in the direction of the Ponte dell'Accademia, and of course stopping by and exploring any church or monastery we could find along the way.
It's my family over there looking at tourist tat. Yeah. So I think what we'll do is try and head over the canal. Failing for 16 years.
The Ponte dell'Accademia is one of 4 bridges spanning the Grand Canal, connecting the San Marco and Dorsoduro districts. Unlike the stone Rialto Bridge, it is primarily made of wood and steel, though intended to be temporary when built in 1933, it became a permanent fixture due to its popularity and was extensively restored in 1986 and 2018. The view from the top of it is, in my opinion, arguably the most majestic view you could ever find in a city.
Where's Pat? I'll take a still from it when it's done. No, you know. That's one of the best views I've ever seen in my life. Incredible. So as views go, that's up there. It's up there. The smallest ice cream ever made.
He's got the same bottle of ice cream, but it's in a cup. Sort of cup.
Oggi dai il mio cellulare.
In 1630, Venice experienced an unusually devastating outbreak of the plague. As a votive offering for the city's deliverance from the pestilence, the Republic of Venice vowed to build and dedicate a church to Our Lady of Health. The church was designed in the then fashionable Baroque style, and unlike most of Venice's architecture, doesn't have a Byzantine twist. Construction began in 1631, and most of the art housed in the church bears reference to the Black Death. The church stands on a narrow finger of Ponte della Dogana, next to Venice's old customs buildings at the mouth of the Grand Canal. The dome of the Salute was an important addition to the Venetian skyline and soon became emblematic of the city, appearing in iconic artworks by Canaletto, Francesco Guardi and J.M.W. Turner.
Get the boat across.
Even though I'm very much a non-believer and am agnostic at best, I cannot help but gaze in awe and wonder at the faith and devotion expressed in the construction and decoration of religious buildings, where the materials, design and labour itself become acts of worship and dedication to creating and swimming in God's coral reef.
So we've just had something to eat and had a few cocktails which have gone to my head and have helped tremendously with the man cold which I'm still suffering with. So we are just heading now back to the apartment for a bit of a rest, and then we will go out again a little later.